Attention. All right. So here we go. Solving quadratics. All right, by taking the square root. All right. Now the first thing I want to remind everybody is how many solutions are there to k squared? There are 2 solutions. Thank you very much. So for all quadratics, there are 2 solutions. For all quadratics, there are 2 solutions. Right? Now, how do you think we undo a square? You take the square root. Thank you very much. So look how simple this is, guys. I'm going to take the square root. I'm going to take the square root. When I take the square root, it's going to be k is equal to, now, it's not just the square root of 76, but we say it's plus or minus the square root of 76. Plus or minus the square root of 76. Is everybody with me on that? All right, that's how you get the 2 solutions. It's the same, one positive, one negative. Now I need everybody to highlight 76. K is equal to plus or minus 4 times 19. 4 times 19 is 76. Now reviewing, what's the square root of 4? So K is equal to plus or minus 2 radical 19. All right, so that's a lot of review right off the bat. That's a lot of review right off the bat. Breaking down the square root of 76. Now remember what I try to emphasize. Try to ask me a question now if you don't remember something. Nobody has any issues. All right, let's check out number 3. What do I do? That's exactly right. Take the square root. Now, what does everybody forget? That how many solutions are there? 2. So, Jack, the answer is x is equal to what? No.
Oh, wait, no. Oh, yeah, plus or minus.
Plus or minus the square root of 21. Now the question is, you are correct. 21 can break down to 7 and 3, but are those perfect squares? No. So because 21 can't break down, that is the answer. Plus or minus the square root of 21. I told you it's very simple. All right. Number 5. I have to isolate the square. So what do I have to do first? Subtract 8. Now everybody should be able to look at that and just say k squared is equal to what? 20. Now what do I have to do? What do I have to do? Square root. That's correct. Take the square root of both sides. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 20. So x is equal to, break 20 down. What does that become? 4 times 5, so? Right. Plus or minus 2 radical 5. Is everybody okay with that? All right. What do I have to do first? Divide by 6. All right. So m squared is equal to, what's 414 divided by 6? What is it? 69. All right, so now what? Yep. Take the square root of both sides. All right, now, 69 is the same as 3. It's the same as 3 times 23. So are there any perfect squares? No. So it's just plus or minus the square root of 69. Any questions? All right. Number 9, what do I have to do first? Subtract 7, so everybody should be able to tell me m squared is equal to 81. So now what's my answer?
M squared equals plus or minus 9.
Plus or minus 9. Very good. Right? Because we know what? The square root of 81 is what? 9. Does everybody agree with me? All right. So now somebody tell me n squared is equal to what? So n is equal to what? Nope. Yeah, don't forget. The biggest mistake you're going to make on your test is forget the plus or minus. You have to be careful. Plus or minus 8.
Would you not put the sign when you square
The
it?
radical, you mean? You can do that.
So you
But
have
it's just like putting plus 3, or you know what I mean? If you can see it, I don't want you to do that. It's a waste of time. Okay, what do I have to do first? So x squared is equal to what? 78.
Oh,
Now what do I need to do? Take the square root. So x is equal to plus or minus the square root of 78. And then I want everybody to say 78 is 2 times 39. 39 is 3 times 13. So none of them are perfect squares. So it's just plus or minus the square root of 78. Everybody good? Told you, easy day. All 3 days are easy. All right, here we go. What do I have to do first? N squared equals 1. So now what?
n equals plus or minus
Perfect. Plus or minus 1. Anybody have any questions? Now what do I have to do first? Subtract 1. Now what?
minus 7.
So what's my answer? So plus or, yeah, come on. Plus or minus 2. Girls, you okay with this? No one say anything. I think it's pretty easy. Solve an equation. Then when you get to the square, you take the square root of both sides. Then you have to remember to put plus or minus. Any questions? All right. What am I doing first? And then what? 2m squared is equal to 200. So m squared is equal to what? So m is equal to, no, plus or minus 10. All right? Just in case you're not sure, we'd be taking what? Square root of both sides. Everybody agreeing with that? All right, 21. What do I do first? Add 7. Then what? Everybody agree with that? Now I do what? So n is equal to plus or minus the square root of 99, but then you're smart. And so that breaks down to, that's exactly right. Come on, any questions with that? All right, 23, what do I want to do? So 10n squared equals what? 480. Now what? So n squared equals 48. Now I have to do what? So n is equal to plus or minus the square root of 48. Does anybody remember what 48 broke down to from last?
4 times 12.
Yes, but there's a better one. No, neither one of those is good. 16 times 3. 16 and 3. All right, yes, you're correct. You could use 4 and 12, but then you'd have to break down what? 12. All right, so I'm trying to get you to remember that 48 is 16 times 3. So now when you take the square root of 16, what do you get? So it's plus or minus 4 radical 3. All right, so let's take a look at 25. What do I have to do on 25? Subtract 1. Now what? So r squared is equal to, so r. Come on, I think that should be how good you are. That's not that hard. Isolate and then take the square root. So what do I have to do on number 27? Add 2. Now what? So now k equals what? Yeah, plus or minus the square root of 73. Everybody okay with that? Okay, so that was the new lesson. All right, that wasn't that hard. All right, now listen, something I know for sure is that when you take your standardized tests into your private schools, they're going to ask you about graphs. All right, so what I'm doing is I'm just kind of reviewing. All right, so I need everybody to look up here at the board, and we're going to review how to graph quadratics now. All right, so everybody look up. Can anybody remember what the formula for the axis of symmetry was? Yes. Thank you. Negative b over something. 2 times a. All right, now, the other thing is, I want you to remember this. Y equals ax squared plus bx plus c. That's what we're graphing. What's b in this case, guys? Now, remember, b is the number in front of the x. Is there an x? No, so it's what? 0. So I want you to put right next to this, just for your own. A is 1, B is 0, and C is negative 4. So in this case, x equals negative 0 over 2 times 1. So the axis symmetry is x equals 0. Okay. So axis symmetry, x equals 0. Now if you recall, what that meant was your axis of symmetry, this is a vertical line, x equals 0. So everybody draw that in, please. That is your axis of symmetry, x equals 0. All right. Now, to find the vertex, y equals 0 squared minus 4. All right. So to find the vertex, you just plug this answer, x equals 0, into the original equation. And if I plug 0 in, what do I get for y? Negative 4. So your vertex is 0, comma, negative 4. So now we come back over here, and now we're going to graph 0, negative 4. So there's 0, negative 4. All right? Now, vertex 0, comma, negative 4. Now, your y-intercept, very good, thank you very much, 0c. So in this case, it's going to be 0, comma what? Negative 4. Now we have a problem because the vertex and the y-intercept are what? The same, right? So now we have to substitute in 1, right? So if x equals 1, I'm trying to figure out what y is. All right? So y equals 1 squared minus 4. What's 1 squared? Minus 4. That's right. 1, negative 3. So now, another point on the graph is 1, comma, negative 3. So I'm going to go to 1, and I'm going to graph negative 3, which is right there. As I remember, you use the axis symmetry to find the other point. So the other point would be what? Right there. And now when you graph it, it'll look something like this. That's what the graph looks like. Right? Now remember, the axis symmetry is the mirror image. So this distance here is 1, so the same distance over there is 1. You with me? Then you have to remember that the parabola is kind of a U shape. So once you have those 3 points, you can just make a U. Okay? All right. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So let's do number 3 together here. All right, everybody look at number 3 now. Step number 1, x equals negative b over 2a. Yes, I'm sorry. On my exam, I don't care if you use a calculator. But on entrance exams, most of the time, especially at Academy, I don't think they'll let you use your calculator. Okay? That's why I'm trying to tell you. I just like to review a little bit. Okay? So you're ready. This is like the hardest thing that's on the entrance exam, especially those of you guys who are going to, not to Berkeley, but to Jesuits, the boys. This is what they said last year when I had a meeting. This was the hardest part for kids, graphing quadratics. All right? So here we go. So what's negative b going to be? 6, thank you. Over 2 times what? 1, thank you. Did everybody see that or not? So x equals 3 is your axis of symmetry. So over here, x equals 3. Now let's go ahead and draw x equals 3. So on your graph, here is your axis of symmetry. X equals 3. Thank you. I accidentally hit the button. Okay. I think I'm back up. All right, thank you. All right, now what I want to do is I have to figure out what the vertex is. So to figure out what the vertex is, I have to plug 3 into the equation. So y equals, then I'm going to have 3 squared minus 6 times 3 plus 8. Y equals 9 minus 18 plus 8. Y equals negative 9 plus 8, which is negative 1. So the vertex is 3, comma, negative 1. So come back over here, vertex 3, comma. Didn't I do 9 minus 18 plus 8? What is that column? 9 minus 18 is negative 9. Negative 9 plus 8.
Oh, wait.
Okay? Oh, this is... Sorry, guys. I don't know what's going on with it. All right. Okay. Now, the y-intercept. Well, let's go ahead and plot that point. Sorry. 3, negative 1. So here's 3, negative 1. So put a dot there. And now I need to find the y-intercept. So remember the y-intercept is just 0c. So in this case, it's 0, comma what? 0, comma 8. Thank you. So now I got to graph 0, 8. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Puts that point right there. Now, how far away am I from the axis symmetry? 3. Thank you very much. I'm 3 units, so I have to go over 3 more units. And now you have your what? Now you have your problem. All right, does everybody see that? Anybody have any questions? All right, let's check out 5. Graphing 9 minus x squared. What does a equal? I tried to mess you up on this one. What does a equal? Somebody tell me. Nope. Negative 1. What does b equal? 0. What's c equal? 9. Right, so somebody tell me right off the bat, what's the y-intercept? 0, comma 9. Thank you. Axis symmetry. X equals negative b over 2a. Negative 0 over 2 times negative 1, which is automatically what? 0. So now we have to graph x equals 0. There's your axis symmetry. Everybody okay with that? Now, if x equals 0, I plug 0 in. Y is equal to 9 minus 0 squared, which is equal to what? 9. So your vertex is 0, 9, which is kind of a pain because it's the same as the what? Yes, thank you. It's the same as the vertex. So now all you have to do is plug 1 in. All right? I'm going to plug 1 in. What's 9 minus 1 squared? 8. So another point that's on the graph is 0, comma 8. I'm sorry, 1, comma 8. Not 0. 1. Sorry, 1, comma 8. So 1, 8 is right here. So how far away am I from the x-axis? 1. So I have to move 1 on the other side. And so now my graph. Like that. All right, so again, that was just a good review of the graphing of quadratic. All right, so may I have any questions with that? All right, please look over the notes now. Now, what I want is this, guys. I want you to try to. I want to go over question number 6 real quick because I forgot to give you this answer. Everybody, take a look at number 6. What do I have to do first? So n squared is equal to negative 72. So So now somebody tell me what the answer is right off the bat. Good job. Why is it no solution? That's right. Your square cannot equal a negative. No number squared will equal a negative until you get to Algebra 2 and you talk about imaginary numbers. Right now, we don't have any idea. All right? So we say it's no solution. All right? In the future, they will show you imaginary numbers. But right now, anytime your square is set equal to a negative, it's no solution. So everybody good on that? Now, again, what I'm trying to tell you guys, look, it's very simple. I want the last 9 weeks to be easy. All right, but you have to do the work every single day, though. All right, I'm really trying to help you be ready for high school. All right, this is important. All right, I don't want you cutting corners. Now you've got a few minutes. What time's the bell ring? You got 9 minutes. Work on, right now, work on the odds. Everybody work on the odds.